I am next to the new Tata Curvv EV, about which you must have heard of or in fact known quite a lot about by now. Well, unless of course you've been living under a rock. And I say that because this has been the much anticipated launch from Tata Motors, especially for its unique styling, design, presence and much more. We've seen its concept version at the earlier Auto Expo and then in production form at the Bharat Mobility show at the start of this year. Now the car has been launched and this is the one that is now on sale. Today we shall get behind its wheel to figure if and how practical it is in the real world and also let you know how it has taken things forward from its sibling, the Nexon EV. As you can see, the production model retains the bold design language of its concept counterpart, featuring a striking split headlamp setup with an LED light bar, a coupe-like silhouette, and a clean rear end accentuated by a continuous LED tail light. Tata Motors has been able to lower the center of gravity by 60 mm for the Curvv and also achieved a 50-50 weight distribution. This coupe SUV rides on 18-inch aerodynamically optimized wheels and offers a ground clearance of 190 mm, also boasting a wading depth of 450 mm. From the front, it might look like the Nexon, but is longer than the compact SUV, and despite the changes in its dimensions, it looks proportionate. I am pleasantly surprised at how this car looks in the flesh, especially this rear section, which has strong resemblance to premium cars like the BMW X4, the Mercedes-AMG GLC 43 Coupe and the likes. Yes, more cars have adopted to this coupe-like styling, and Tata Motors deserves credit for bringing this coupe-like styling in the mid-size SUV segment for cars priced below Rs 25 lakh. The EV is offered in 5 exterior paint shades, namely Virtual Sunrise, Pure Grey, Pristine White, Flame Red and Empowered Oxide. While the top-spec Empowered version gets all 5 color options, the Creative and Accomplished variants get 3 paint schemes each. Now, imagine this to be introduced in the Dark Edition. Wouldn't that be a looker? What do you think? Do let us know in the comments below. And before we proceed, do subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and press the bell icon to never miss an update from us. Inside the Curvv EV, it adopts to a minimalistic design philosophy with a clean dashboard and a large touchscreen in the center. Yes, the steering wheel is a little larger and differentiation has been provided in terms of the colors and the accents used on the dashboard. The upholstery is new, it gets ventilated seats and much more. But then, the width of the car is similar to the Nexon, so shoulder room remains the same, but then it still remains to be quite roomy. The interior theme can be further customized depending on the variant one chooses. For example, these top-spec Empowered versions are being offered with a black and white themed cabin. But then, the Creative trim gets a dual-tone black and blue theme, and Accomplished variants benefit from a black and burgundy theme. The carmaker has also brought in changes to the center console by incorporating a wireless charger over here and an e-brake. However, it misses out on cup holders. It's understandable that having a wireless charger these days is preferred and takes precedence, but we wish there could have been a way to incorporate at least one cup holder over here. Now Tata Motors has done a genuine effort in bringing in a premium quality inside. But that said, there is something that I have to point out, and you will also see in terms of the mismatch that has happened in the door panel on the right side, especially on the driver's side. The door panel with the dashboard is slightly on the lower side, but then onto the co-passenger side, the dashboard and the door panel don't really match. So this is something that can be taken care of. Now to the crucial bit of the second row space and seating in the Curvv. Getting in is not a big task and the view of the surrounding outside is good. Then the panoramic sunroof helps its case in bringing in that sense of space inside. The light colors also help in doing that. Now, when it comes to space, there is adequate room with good space for the feet to be extended, and that helps its case because the floor seems to be a bit high, but when you stretch out your legs, you have adequate under thigh support. Then headroom, I'm 5 feet 8 inches and there is quite a little space inside. My head doesn't hit anywhere. The shoulder room is good and the back seat can be adjusted in 2 levels for its recline. When it comes to features, there is a 45 watt C-type charging unit over here. This armrest gets 2 cup holders. Well, a good space to be in. And then when it comes to equipment, the Curvv, like the Nexon, remains to be a feature-packed vehicle. The car has a 4-spoke multifunction steering wheel with an illuminated Tata logo that looks good. Then, the 10.2-inch digital instrument cluster is customizable, and its USP is that it incorporates a full view of the map. The SUV is also equipped with other features, with some of the highlights being a 6-way power adjustable driver seat, ventilated front seats, reclining rear seats, customizable mood lighting, a panoramic sunroof, and a 9-speaker JBL sound system. Lest we forget, it also gets a gesture-controlled electric tailgate. It's helpful when your hands are full. Just swipe your leg under the rear bumper and it provides access to the 500 liters of boot space. The Curvv EV gets level 2 ADAS with over 20 safety features and driving aids. The latter have been nicely tuned and don't feel intrusive, be it automatic braking, lane assist, adaptive cruise control, or blind spot monitoring. The SUV also gets a 360-degree camera, a blind spot assist on the ORVMs, 6 airbags, ESP, and electronic parking brake with auto hold, and more. Now, let's get to the driving bits. And since this is an EV, things are pretty straightforward. It gets an automatic transmission. You shift to drive, release the parking brake, as in the e-brake, and then give a slight tap on the accelerator and the car starts moving ahead. It also gets an auto hold feature, which will be quite useful in city traffic driving. And then there are 3 driving modes: City, Eco, and Sport, with of course the throttle response being very different in each mode. It gets sharper and the most responsive in the Sport mode. The Tata Curvv EV uses a single 123 kW electric motor powered by either a 45 kWh or 55 kWh battery pack, offering a range of 502 km and 585 km respectively. These are ARAI certified figures. Tata claims that the Curvv EV can sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.6 seconds and has a top speed of 160 km per hour. So it doesn't feel like a heavy car even though it is one, and it is quite capable of zooming ahead with zest, and the claimed sprint times feel quite easily achievable. All this eventually helps whether it's the city or the highway. Within the city, the seamless gear shifts ensure a smooth driving experience. Despite the responsive throttle inputs, the power delivery doesn't feel snappy, and loads of torque help make quick progress. This also helps in quickly overtaking a long vehicle on the highway. This large steering wheel gives a stately feel while driving and doesn't feel artificial. It is well weighted and steers the car in the direction it is pointed at. Well, but with 3 turns lock to lock, it is not the quickest. As for its ride quality, it handles our broken roads without a fuss, and that too while keeping the occupants comfortable. At low speeds, you can feel the ride to be slightly on a firmer side, but it still takes the road's irregularities in its stride with ease. The suspension and road noise is also minimal to say the least. Sharp-edged potholes are also dealt without having to slow down. Moreover, the ground clearance is good enough to clear big bumps. Then wider tires with a good contact patch further ensure good grip for a car that has a well-contained body roll. Now in this 55 version, as in the top spec long range version, the claimed driving range is 585 km, whereas in the 45 version, it is 502 km. Now for this 55 version, it shows a range of 351 km with 87% charge. So in reality, in the real world, even if the car manages to get 75% of the claimed range, that is quite a good number for everyday use. Moreover, thanks to a charging rate of 1.2C, the batteries can be recharged from 10 to 80% in 40 minutes using a 70 kWh charger. A quick 15-minute charge can give you a 150 km of range. The car also supports vehicle-to-load V2L charging at up to 3.3 kVA and vehicle-to-vehicle V2V charging at 5 kVA. The Curvv brings in a new body style and an impressive form factor with all that an Indian customer wants. It has got the space, features and upmarket ambience. New tech offers a comfortable ride and good drivability. It still has a little scope of improvement in the fit and finish department. But then as an EV, it ticks all the right boxes, and that too at a competitive price tag. It's not hard to recommend. So the Tata Curvv EV ex-showroom prices start at 17.49 lakh and top out for the top spec variant at 21.99 lakh. And before we end, if you are a prospective buyer who is considering the Nexon EV and the Curvv, we have a small comparison for you to help you in your buying decision. If you take a look at the Nexon EV M-Powered Plus long range version, and we are not talking about the dark edition, it has a ex-showroom price of Rs 19.29 lakh. Now, for an equivalent pricing of the Curvv, the 45 Accomplished Plus S version has an identical pricing. But as against the Nexon EV, the Curvv EV has so much more to offer. First, a new body style and road presence that is new and makes it look unique. Secondly, there is more space inside the Curvv, new upholstery, and a big 500-litre boot space more than the Nexon's 350-litre space. Then, it gets add-ons like a panoramic sunroof, electric boot lid opener, and a modern and better-looking cabin. When it comes to the powertrain, there are quite a lot of improvements and innovations as mentioned by Tata. Take the Curvv 45 that has a similar power output like that of the Nexon EV, but the battery is bigger and gives a higher driving range of 502 km unlike the claimed 465 km for the Nexon EV. Besides, the Curvv EV matches the ride quality and comfort that of the Nexon EV despite being a bigger and heavier car. All in all, you definitely get so much more in the Curvv EV than the Nexon EV. So there you have it. Tata Motors has provided enticing EV options in this space, and soon there's more to come. Stay tuned to CarWale. Thanks for watching.